Okay, you're good now.
So Teresa and Krista will be watching the recording with this. But this is Nicole. You guys, I think everyone knows her. Nikki maybe hasn't met her in person. And Becca, you haven't met her in person, but she's the Presidential Diamond with it, where she's our upline. She's who enrolled me, and she's awesome. She has a huge team under her and a lot of people that are out of state, and she's been helping them get their businesses going, because I know that's a lot of concern for some of them, that they just kind of feel out in the middle of nowhere, not sure what to do. So maybe when kind of tonight we'll kind of talk about what we can do for them, where we can't go personally do their parties for them and stuff like that. So they've been concerned. So I have some questions that people have given me, but but then some other things that I just thought we could hit on, but I want you to mainly talk about it. But just kind of what you would, I guess just the first one, like being on your own, like what can you do? Like what have other girls done that have been out of state that have started this and just ran with it and made it work for them? I know another concern, well, one of them, there's like competing LMMs, like there's Plexus and I don't, is that right? So they kind of get worried, like, is there too much going on, or people are obligated to another thing? So just kind of what you would do for someone that's just out there, out of state.
Yeah, so that's kind of one of the great things about our company, I feel like, is that you don't have to be living right next door to somebody to be successful. There's a ton of top leaders that they're in like towns of like a few hundred people that are presidentials and ambassadors. So the great thing with the internet is we use that to our advantage. Um, by you guys sharing with your friends that are not necessarily in your town, that's how you're going to get them to join your team, is by using social media. And we'll kind of talk a little bit, Jenny and I kind of chat a little bit, we'll talk a little bit more about how you guys can use that social media to your advantage. But basically that's, to get people to join your team, that's going to be your biggest thing. Obviously, you're still going to work the people who live around you too. Because every single person that lives by you is a potential. So you still want to work those people the same as you would anybody else. But you're definitely going to use the internet and social media to your advantage. As far as other MLMs, we have something that nobody else has. So don't even let that be an issue in your mind. I know it might sound like it, but if you get people trying our products and liking our products, those other MLMs aren't even going to matter, because they're going to want your products, not what they have, because they don't have a wrap. Nobody else has a wrap. So really, like when it comes to other MLMs, I mean, yeah, if there's people that are like really high up in the company or whatever, yeah, they're probably going to stay with those other companies, and that's fine. Um, but as far as finding customers and stuff, you can still find customers when there's a ton of other companies. I mean, for me, I drive past 3 other headquarters of MLMs almost every single day here. They're not It Works. They're other companies that started in the same town or neighboring towns right next to me. But I still am talking to everybody about It Works, because that's not going to compare to the other 3 that, my next door neighbor works for another MLM. Another girl in one of my neighborhoods works for another one. There's actually 4, not 3. There's 4. And they're big ones, and they're ones that we hear a lot about, but I'm not going to let that stop me from sharing with everybody else. Yeah, they might be in another MLM, but it doesn't mean that they're not open to the idea of looking at yours or trying your products. They can still be a customer even if they are selling the other product. So it's really something that it might sound daunting and sound like kind of a pain if it is really big in your area. But that's the great thing, is that those people all are already introduced to an MLM and they're open to the idea. And if they like what you have, they're going to be open to what you have too. Like they like your products, they're going to be open to your business, it's not going to like have the stigma of an MLM if they're already used to having that in the area. So it can actually play in your favor too. But just be good about it. You know, don't try and be stealing people from other people's teams, whatever, you know. But definitely don't let that hold you back because like like I know Plexus doesn't have what we have, you know, like target it more towards the products that we have that nobody else has because that's why our company is successful is because we do have a first market product and nobody else has it. So does that answer your question, Jenny?
No, that's awesome, and I think like because I sometimes when I hear about other MLMs, I can get really nervous about it, and it can kind of this job is I don't know, it's all about like staying in the right mindset. It's a mind, you know, so
Right.
just I think, and as you're saying that, I'm like, yeah, there's huge ones in Utah.
Mhm.
I see them as I drive down Provo area all the time. They're big corporate offices. So Utah has a lot of MLMs, so it's good to see that. Another question. So a lot of these guys, even like the enrollers, we're fairly new. What would you say just to jumpstart your business, just to get people, get DTs? Like, what are some tips that you would say just to get it known what you're doing and get people responding to you?
Right. I mean, obviously, the biggest thing is really going to just be to put yourself out there and start talking to people. I know it sounds dumb and it sounds so simple, but it's true. Um, the reason that we say work your steps to success is because that's what gets your business going. You're going to hear it over and over and over, and you're going to get sick of hearing it, but really, working your steps to success is really what's going to give you that sounding board. Even if it's me, you know, I've been in for 3 years. My family's all like standing at the door watching me right now. They're all supposed to be in. Even if it's me, like for me, if I want to launch, like if I really want to push hard, if I'm not doing my steps to success, it's not going to work. You know, it's not going to happen. And so it's the same for somebody from day one to 3 years in. It's really all about just finding those people. And to find those people, you have to start talking, whether it's to your friends, your family, you're out at the grocery store talking, you're posting on social media. If you can, hold a party close to you and get everybody that you know around you, invite them, get them over. If they can't come, set up one-on-ones with them. Um, and if you can't do that, do an online party. Online parties have been great too. It's a kind of a good way for people who don't really want to show up to a party but are interested. They can watch it without you knowing. And then, like I've had a lot of people when I do online ones message me, and I didn't even know they were watching the online party, but they were. They didn't check in or like or comment or anything, but they messaged me later and said they were interested. So you really never know what all the little small things you're doing, like how it's affecting your business. But if you are continually doing those things, you'll keep that, you know, that good start. But really, like to get a good start, you just have to start talking to people. There's not like one big thing that you can do to get that start. You really just have to start sharing it with people and talking to people. And if you don't have a 100s list yet, make a 100s list. Get a piece of paper, write down 100 names of people you know. Go through your phone, go through your Facebook, your Instagram, whatever it is. Write down 100 names. Doesn't matter who they are. If you think that they want your business, you know, the business. If they want your product, it doesn't matter. You might think that they are going to think you're the craziest person in the world. You're still going to write their name down, and you're going to eventually talk to them. And you're not going to cross it off until they have signed as a loyal customer or distributor. There's a girl that from day one I thought she would be great at this, but she's a very open-minded person, and I've been really scared about how she would react when I talked to her about it. And a couple of months ago, I actually finally messaged her. It took me 3 years to get up the courage to do it, but she's actually interested in the business, which kind of shocked me. Like I was really afraid to open my message when she messaged me right back because I didn't know what she was gonna say, and I didn't want it to hurt my feelings. We were good friends in college, but not that good friends. You know, like she still is she's a very blunt person and kind of says whatever she feels. And so I was nervous, but she was totally interested in the business and wants, you know, like wants to do it part time along with what she's doing. And so, um, don't be afraid to just start talking to people. I mean, it's taken me. I still get nervous to talk to people. Like I won't lie, it's not easy. So don't feel like you're alone in thinking that it's hard to talk to people. It is hard to talk to people. But what we have is an amazing product, and we have an awesome business. So you need to be proud of that and be confident in that. Um, it's it's something that can change your life, and you need to know that, even if you don't feel like it has yet, because most of you guys are still really new. You know, you don't need to have like this big story to get people to join your business. You just need to share with them why you're doing it. You know, remember why you're doing it. Figure it out. If you don't know why you're doing this business yet, you need to sit down and figure it out. Figure out what your full reason is, whether it's just for a little bit of extra money, whether you want to quit working, whatever it is, figure it out and, let that drive you. But really just the biggest thing really to launch is just to start talking to people and telling people about it. That's really, I mean, it sounds really dumb and really simple, but it's true. Like, you really just have to start talking to people and kind of put your fears aside and all of your insecurities and just really start working it and work it every single day. If you post once a week, it's not going to do anything. You have to be working it every single day. If you want like that strong start, if you just want to work it a little bit at a time, that's fine too. But if you really want a strong start and want to start making money quick, you really have to work it every single day. So.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. Am I getting a lot of echo with you guys? Okay. Yeah, and I was just listening to a webinar or something the other day that said like post in the morning about a product, post in the evening about the business side. Just something, just kind of keep something that you have to kind of gauge like what you need to do every day. And then in the middle of that, post your life. And I mean, some people post more than that, 6 times. Some people post 3 times, but that's been a good goal for me is twice during the day. But the postings, when I started to see a difference, posting and reaching out to people, not like, hey, do you want to try a wrap for $25? I have 4 wraps. Just throwing that out. That really is what helped me get excited and get going. And then it's kind of fun to do that in the evening because then in the morning you have some people respond to you. So it gives you something to work on. Right. So I like that a lot. Let me see my next question. Sorry, my phone keeps. So throwing a party by yourself. A lot of them. Well, let's see, Nikki, Teresa, and Krista haven't been to a party in real life. So what would you say to prepare them to just throw a party, invite people over to their house, or to like a salon party, whatever they want to do? But what would you say to do to prepare for that?
So the biggest thing, the great thing about the parties is really if you just follow the party pad, that's a party. There's sample parties on YouTube if you want to watch, the way that somebody else does it. But really, I mean, the other thing you can do is Skype with whoever your enroller is too. Like if you have a computer there, they can kind of chime in with you and help you through it if you feel like you need to. I haven't ever really had somebody that felt like they had to have me there. But I think just being comfortable with the party pad. I think a lot of people, well, I don't know, I hope you guys all use the party pad. It's a really great tool that we have so that we can sign people in other states and not have to be there to hold their hands. When I first started, we didn't have the party pad, and our parties were like this health seminar, and we got up and talked for a full hour. And I'm not kidding you, it was horrid. Like, it was really like we went into like the science of the wraps. Like, it was the longest, most boring thing in the whole world. And it was hard for brand new distributors to do it. Like, it made you nervous. Like, I remember the first, like, right after I signed up, I had my enroller come and do them. And I remember I had a notepad that I wrote down everything that she said, and it was like 2 pages long of notes of everything I needed to remember from when I did a party. And it was like that, that's hard. That's not easy for new distributors. So we were really lucky that we had the party pad, and there's even party pad notes that you can download in your eSuite. So really just get to know that party pad and figure out how you like to say it. If you need to, YouTube, it works party pad, and there's a ton of different people who have recorded them sharing the party pad. Um, find what way works for you and what way is comfortable for you so that when you are doing your own party, it's not this big like production for you. It's comfortable, you are confident. That's really the biggest thing is just getting to know that party pad and knowing that if somebody asks a question that you don't know, it's okay. That's what your enroller is for, that's what Jenny's for, that's what I'm for. Just hurry and text us or whatever it is that you need to do while you're at that party. But don't be afraid to hold a party. Just because you're new and your enroller isn't near you doesn't mean you can't have a party. Really just that party pad, that's why the party pad was, that's why they made the party pad was so that we could, you know, make it easier for our distributors when they sign and we're not there to hold their hand and do it for them. So really just following that party pad, I think, is the biggest thing with doing a party if you don't have your enroller. So.
And the parties that I've done when I've tried to like think that I'm being creative and do something different, they don't go well. People don't want to hear all this stuff that you, because I've learned more stuff than what you told me when you enrolled me. Obviously about everything, but they're not ready to hear all that right away anyways. So I think that's good.
Like even when I sat down with you, like the first time that we went, like where'd we go, like Zupa's or something, and met? That was what I did. I pulled out the party pad and showed you. Like that's really how simple it is. Even for one-on-ones, I still pull out the party pad and show them because that's the basic information that they need to know. They'll learn everything else later, but that basic information is all you need to share with them, unless if they start asking questions. If they ask questions, answer away, but don't feel like you have to give everything.
Yeah, and I'll even say sometimes, like, I know this is kind of corny, I'm going to pull out this little party pad, but I'll get sidetracked and miss stuff that you'll probably have questions about if I don't use this. So I kind of just say it so it's not so like, here's my party pad. I just kind of say that at the beginning just so they have that. I guess the rest of the questions are just ones that the two that couldn't join tonight had, but Nikki, whoever, Amy, Amanda, whoever's on tonight can pop up and ask questions right now too if you guys want to, or if you want me to ask these three that I have. So
those three, and then these guys can be thinking of questions, and then we can answer those.
Okay, let's do that.
You guys be thinking if you have questions, you guys can shoot in a minute.
Okay, that's good. So the one question is, she says she has a really hard time. She can get retail customers. She has a really hard time getting loyal customers. She'll get them to sign up for one product 1 month, then they're done, and pay full price.
Yeah.
But not to the loyal customer. So I was wondering, I've heard you talk about that a little bit, maybe like her approach, but wanted to hear kind of some input from you.
Yeah. So in 3 years, I've only ever had, I think, 3 retail customers. Our loyal customer program is awesome. And if you're not talking about it like it's awesome, people are probably not going to think it's awesome. If you talk about it like it's this big commitment and it's a really scary thing, people aren't going to become loyal customers. Because it really is a really awesome program. I was talking to my new neighbor the other day, and she just barely ordered some product from another company, and we were telling her about this, and she was actually thinking about the other company too. Her brother-in-law does the other company and really wants her to, but she's like, I don't know if I want to. And then after we explain everything to her, she's like, this sounds way easier than what he does. And I was like, well, like, what do you mean, like the loyal customer, the distributor? She's like, well, the loyal customer program isn't that bad. Like, it's not that hard for somebody to complete it. And it's true. When I first started, well, before I became a distributor, I was just going to become a loyal customer. Um, the discount on the wraps was huge, and I went through and looked, and I was like, okay, if I hate the wraps, I'll buy Fat Fighters for 2 months after, just to like get my, get my 3 months or whatever. So I think the biggest thing is going back to the whole confidence thing, being confident and knowing that what we have is awesome. Like when I explain the loyal customer program, I say, we have this loyal customer program and it's awesome. Like that starts it off as, oh, she thinks it's cool. Why is it cool? Most of the time I give them the option to buy it retail, but I say, well, you can buy it for full price or you can get my pricing with the loyal customer program. All you need to do is order 3 products or order 1 product for 3 months in a row. Each month it can be a different product, and it doesn't have to be a certain dollar amount. That's the biggest thing, is letting people know that you don't have to spend $100 every month just to keep your discount. And really not making it sound dumb if they do the retail program, but it's kind of dumb for people to buy retail, honestly. Like it's like they're wasting a lot of money. I mean, don't you agree? I think I don't know. I'm like, you want to pay $40 more when you could get 2 more products for the exact same, like for the exact same amount, Um, the one retail customer I had was Cody's grandpa, and I wasn't going to argue with him, so I was like, sure, pay full price. I don't really care. Um, but really, I think it's all about the way that you approach it. And if you're scared to tell them about the loyal customer program, they're going to be scared to sign up as a loyal customer too. If you make it this big, scary, okay, you need to do an auto shipment for 3 months, and then after your auto shipment, if you want to turn it off, you can. If you're explaining it that way, people are going to be scared to become a loyal customer. But if you're talking about how awesome it is and how much savings, like, how much they're going to save, they can earn perk points, stuff like that, I think just making it light and not making it this big, scary commitment. Because it is a commitment. It's 3 months, but it's not a dollar amount commitment. Technically it is because our cheapest thing is like, like $17 or I can't remember. But, it's not like you're making them spend $100 to $150 a month just to keep their discount. So I think the biggest thing is really just being confident in our loyal customer program and making it sound like it's a good deal, because it really is. Like, it's really stupid for people to buy retail. I mean, you make good money off of them buying retail, but they're not going to be repeat customers. The residual income goes away when they buy retail. So I think really just making it as awesome as it really is, because it is a good program. Most companies like this don't have. You either have to be a distributor, like you have to be a distributor to get our discount. Most companies don't have a customer program where they reward the customers for buying products. So I think really just being confident in our program is the biggest thing.
I think that's a good point. I think so many direct sales companies, like, be a distributor and get my price, or be a little customer and pay it a little bit. Don't get as good pricing as I'm getting. So I think that's an awesome thing. I think that's all that you answered that one really good. I have just one more question. Well, 2 more. This one is just, you've asked this a lot of times during your webinars, but Krista wanted to know just kind of how you balance everything, and being able to balance everything, but being able to put in the time that you need to, because you can balance it by posting once a day and stuff like that, but finding enough time to make the business actually successful. Like, how do you do that?
So this one's a tricky one, and that's why this is like the #1 thing that people always want me to ask on the webinars, and I'm asking people, that I'm interviewing people, because I think it is hard. I think the one thing that I've learned the most in this business is that it's hard to work for yourself. I've always worked for myself, and so, I always had clients that either needed their pictures, so I had to get the work done. or, you know, I had my clients at the salon, so I had to go in. They made an appointment, you know. So for me, at first, it wasn't a matter of like when I was gonna find the time to work. I just did it because I had a goal and I needed to go after it. Um, it's changed over the last couple of years, and now I really have to sit down and make myself work, which sounds weird. But when I first started, I had a lot of people coming to me off of my posts. You know, I was posting all the time, but people were still coming to me for the business or products or whatever. And so at first I was just working because they were coming to me. And then after a little while, it got to the point where I had to start going to people. If I wanted to grow my business, I had to actually do something outside of just posting, you know. Um, so I'm still kind of trying to find balance, which is sad. But, you know, we all go through different phases in our lives. I'm in a completely different phase now than I was 3 years ago. You know, like, I just had a baby and I just moved into a house. And especially moving into my house, I'm like, okay, like, if you saw my house right now, you would die. It's awful. And, like, today I was like, okay, I have an hour. Sky's at school still. The baby's napping. Lemon's watching a movie. Do I unpack my bedroom or do I go sit down and really get some work done? I have an hour, you know. I think the biggest thing is just really prioritizing what you need to do, setting those goals every day, and you know, not going to bed until you've done it. Whether it's contact 10 people today, some people contact 100 people in a day. You know, I mean, it's really all about what goal you have set. Some people I know I do really good if I get up and do it first thing in the morning. For the last 6 months, I have not been a morning person at all. Baby's kind of kicking my butt in the sleep department, so I haven't been good about getting it done in the morning. I have to find another time of day um, to get it done. So I think it's really all about, you know, seeing where you're at in life and where you can spend whatever amount of time it is that you want. Whether it's 10 minutes a day, whether it's an hour a day. I feel like I'm more productive if I sit down and say, okay, right now I'm going to go through my list of potential distributors and follow up with them. If I tell myself what I need to do, then I'm good at doing it. If I just say, okay, I'm going to sit down and work, I sit on my computer and I just stare at it like, okay, I'll get on Facebook for a minute. You know, I think you really have to be intentional with your time. We're all busy. Nobody has hours and hours of time every day. Like this is all I do now. I mean, I guess I do other things still too, but like I still go to salon stuff. But we're busy. Like I feel like I'm in the car half the day with the kids. You know, feeding the baby, changing the baby. You know, feeding kids. It's busy. It doesn't matter who you are, whether you're married, you're single. We all have crap going on. We just have to decide, you know, what's important and what we need to get done. I know some people, I know, Jenni, you wake up super early in the morning, don't you? And I know you get a lot of, like, your work done in the morning, which in my head that sounds really great until I try to wake up and it's
I don't do it every morning. Some mornings I do it.
I just die when I
Becca's on there too.
5 a.m. and I'm like, what is she doing to wake up? I'm feeding baby and going back to bed.
I'm usually going back to bed too.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
But I think really it's just, like, there's no right or wrong with finding the balance. It's really all about what works for you. Like, I can tell you what you need to do, but it might not work for you like it works for me or how it works for Jenni. You really just have to decide, like, if you're a morning person, wake up before either, you know, if you have kids, wake up before your kids wake up and get some work done. If you don't have kids, figure out what time of day you're the most productive. Or, you know, if you're just married and don't have kids, find a time that you can set aside to do just for you, you know, so you don't feel like you're taking away from your husband. You know, whatever it is that you need to do for yourself, you know, family is always going to come first. But sometimes you do need to make small sacrifices. So, you know, my house still looks like it did when we moved in almost 2 weeks ago. I'm getting there, but I still have to work my business too. You know, I can't put my business on hold. Not right now. There's too much on the line right now. Honestly, you'd be crazy to not push super hard right now. I don't know what it is, but I feel like right now is like key timing for you guys to push so hard. My sister and I, Amy, were talking about it. I mean, we've been in it for 3 years. I've been presidential for 2 years. It's time for me to like make change, and I've been working it solid for 2 years. It just hasn't, I just haven't promoted yet. But I feel an urgency right now. I feel like this is when it's going to happen for all of us. And it's not just me that I'm talking about. I mean for like all of you guys. I feel like now is the time. Like, I feel like this is going to be one of our biggest years into next year, and it's time to work it, So maybe you need to find a few things that need to go on the back burner, Like today, my sister-in-law wanted to come see my house, and I was like embarrassed as I'll get out, but I was like, sure, whatever. You can come like it's messy, but it's all I can do right now, So I think, figuring out exactly what you need to do to keep yourself sane, but still be able to work the business. Maybe you stay up an hour later every night. I like my sleep, but an hour each night isn't going to kill me or even a half hour. You can get a lot done if you sit down and message people for a half hour every night. You can get a lot done. So I think really just prioritizing your time and deciding what you want to get done that day and really working that, I think, is the biggest thing to the balance thing. I don't know if there's such thing as balance, but I try.
No, that's perfect. I really think it is finding like your time when you're most productive. Sometimes like maybe 4 out of the 7 days it's mornings for me, and then if I miss those, sleep in, whatever. It's finding the time in the daytime or the evening. So I don't know if there's such thing as balance either.
I wish, but I haven't found it yet.
But if you have your why, like you said, that helps you feel okay about putting that time into it, and it helps you find time for it. So, do any of you guys have any other questions?
I do. How do you keep your loyal customers after their 3 months? Because I have an issue with a lot of my loyal customers after their 3rd month, they stop.
So that's kind of not a tricky question, but I feel like it's something that I kind of lacked in the beginning. Like, I didn't really keep following up with them, I think really making sure that they know about their perk points. When people find out they have like free products that they can use, they're gonna keep their ownership on, and really like showing them other products. I think really just keeping in touch with them, even after they do turn it off, still, like we're, with the new product, all of your loyal customers right now can pre-order it. So this is like perfect opportunity for you to go to each one of them and tell them like, hey, we have this new product coming out, and since you're already a loyal customer, you get to pre-order it before anybody else can buy it. That's a good way to kind of follow up with them, but have a reason to follow up with them, without making them feel like you're bugging them.
Nicole, really quick, what do you mean by pre-order? So can we go in right now and place their order for it?
Yeah, so they can, I think they can go to the wow.myitworks.com, and they just put in their login information for their loyal customer, and they can pre-order it right now. So that's something that
do it. They have to do it themselves.
Well, you could do it if you know their login. You could do it for them, but I think it has to go through like their back office.
Okay.
Like their portal, that they have. Because like when I went to the wow.myitworks.com, it asked me for my login, and then it let me order. So I'm guessing that for them it's the exact same. If they just log in, use their ID number and their password, I think they can just order it that way. But really, I think the biggest thing is really just making sure that they know you care too. Like I have this girl that just started she took a little break for a little bit, and then she's starting back up, and she's going to do like a loyal customer appreciation night that she's doing just for her loyal customers. She's inviting them all over, going to let them sample stuff, try the facial line, kind of like a mini party, but it's not going to be a party. It's just, for them. You could do like a drawing or free samples of whatever, just to kind of get them. Because I think a lot of people want to use the products but forget about it, so it kind of keeps it on their mind. They're like, oh, I want to wrap again. I need to order more wraps. Most people don't just shut it off just because, it's just people forget. So I think really just keeping in touch with them is the biggest key. Just really like letting them know that you care and you're not just there to like sell them for 3 months and then that's it. They might turn it off after 3 months, but if you keep sharing with them different things that you have, they'll come back and order more.
So if they cancel out to them, like
if they cancel,
because I've had like a couple people cancel that, and I've tried to like talk to them about other products and stuff, and they just don't reply.
So they're canceling their auto ships completely, or canceling their account?
Canceling their auto ship.
Okay, so if they cancel their auto shipment, they have 30 days to use those perk points that they've used. That's a really good, like, thing for you to like say, hey, I noticed that, you turned off your auto ship. You have these perk points. If you want to go in and use them, you have 30 days. That at least gives them a chance to, use their perk points, get their product, and it keeps it on their mind. It's just the same thing. Like, really, it's just all a matter of taking care of them. They're going to turn off their auto shipment, but really, if they know that you care, they're more likely to come back and order more, and really keeping up with them and making sure that everything's going okay with their products, too, within those 3 months, like, really just making sure they like their products, and if they don't, figure out why they don't, and if that's, if you can't figure out why they don't, or if they just really don't want anything to do with it, figure out something else to help them meet their goals too. Like, it's really all just about caring for them and, taking care of them. Because we're in the business of taking care of people. So really making sure that we're taking care of our loyal customers. Because that's where our checks come from. I mean, they come from distributors, but the good majority of our checks come from those loyal customers. So.
And I think a lot of it is not spending a ton of time, because I think people can overdo it, but getting organized. Right. Like, I do it pretty simple just in my phone, like an LC, I put LC, then their name. That way I can just pull up all my LCs and follow up with them 1 month, 2 months, 3 months out, or all my DTs. I know some people do file folders and put it in so they know when to follow up with them. Right. But that's my biggest thing. I haven't stopped to organize myself better, and I feel like if I would, I just don't want to waste time doing it, because I feel like, I'd rather be talking to people, but I do think maybe if I took 10, 15 minutes and just kind of got myself organized, that would be better too. So I knew when their 3 months were coming up, 2 months were coming up, and things like that. So, any other questions? Let's see. There's one about just how do you, and you've kind of answered this throughout, so I didn't ask it, but just how do you get people interested? I think it's kind of talking about just how you talked about earlier, posting, talking to people. Some say they've been posting, but they feel like people haven't really responded to them. I mean, you've kind of touched on this already, but if you have anything else, or if any of you guys have anything else to say about it.
Yeah, the biggest thing with that is you have to know, too, that people are watching you, and just because they're not messaging you right now doesn't mean that they're not interested. I mean, really, I still have people 3 years later that I know have watched me since the first day that I started posting.
They should have started 3 years ago.
Yeah, they're crazy. But really making it about kind of how it's changing your life. Like the before and after pictures are great, but the lifestyle posts are going to be key to getting people to join your business. you guys are all, I mean, not all of you, but some of you guys are really new, and so you might not have like this big story, but you know, if you sell a wrap, you've got $25 cash right there. Post about what it, you know, what you paid for with that. Post about it works paying for your groceries. Like for people, that's huge. You know, like I mean, think about. I mean, I think about like when I first started. If somebody had told me I could pay for my groceries, it would have sparked my interest. You know, like we needed that at the time. Or if it paid for my gas or whatever it was, you know, like I think being real and kind of letting your guard down a little bit with your posting and showing what it's doing for you. Yeah, maybe you haven't earned a big bonus yet or whatever, but that's okay. You know, post about the good things that it is doing for you, even if they are small things. A lot of times, a $10,000 bonus isn't going to speak to somebody. $50 for your groceries is going to speak to people. You know, like it's so simple that it sounds dumb, but it really does. It does spark that interest in people. You know, it makes you look like a real person. Like I feel like a lot of times if I'm like, oh, I have this bonus and I did this and I'm at this level, like people are like, yeah, I can't do that, so we're out of here. You know, like I think you really just have to make yourself, you know, a real person and show how much fun it is. Like even if you are in the middle of nowhere with nobody, show how much fun you are having with this business. Like how many new friends do you have because of this? Even if you've only ever seen them on Facebook, you still have new friends, and it's pretty awesome. So I think like the biggest thing is really just sharing the experience with people. If you're wanting people to join your team, that's the biggest thing, is sharing the experience. Anytime that I've gone to a corporate event in Florida, when I come back, got my baby peeking through the window. When I come back, I've always had like messages in my inbox because people want to do that. You know, they want to go on vacation. They want to, you know, they want to have those friends and those relationships. And it's not always about the money, but I think really just creating like that good balance of the before and after pictures with the lifestyle pictures, because the before and after pictures might not speak to somebody that needs money or needs, you know, needs a little bit of extra income or gas money or whatever it is, you know. So really, I think switching up those posts with the lifestyle posts and the before and afters and stuff, I think is what's going to spark people. And like what Jade Hooper says, like working your hundreds list is planting those seeds, you know, like by messaging people and reaching out to people. But those posts, those before and afters, and those lifestyle posts are what waters the seeds, you know, and then they can grow. You know, people, if you message them, they might not message you back, and it's okay, but they're going to start seeing your stuff. And it's going to, you know, eventually it's going to pay off. It might not pay off today. You know, there's people that, like that one girl that I said I messaged that I was really scared to message. I still haven't signed her yet, but she's still interested. We just haven't gotten there yet, you know, like I need to sit down with her, but she's busy, you know, so sometimes it takes more than just a day, you know. I wish that we could just sign everybody really quick and be awesome, you know, but I think just being patient too, and knowing that if you're patient and consistent, it's gonna pay off. Consistency is huge, especially with the posting. If you're only posting like once a week or that, like people aren't gonna. For one, most of them won't see it. With the way that Facebook is now, it's really hard to. A lot of people don't see your stuff. But I think really just being consistent and being real, I think is important too.
I think it's always like, think about like your story, or like each one of everyone that's on tonight, like how did you get interested in it? How did you see it? How long did it take you? You know, because I stalked you for a little bit before I even messaged you, and I tracked Amanda down for 3 months. You know, like think about like this, like what kind of got you into it, and that, and just be patient with it. And like I'll post a picture of my kids and me, and we'll get 100 likes, and I'll post a picture of something to do with it works and get 2 likes. But I know that 100 people are seeing it. So That's all the questions I have. Anyone else on have any more questions tonight? Okay. Well, thanks, Nicole. That's awesome. I think we should do this again. It worked out. I hope it wasn't too hard on your end. I won't mess up.
No, it was good.
Shows that you don't need to have good computer or skills or whatever to do this business. But yeah, we should plan on doing it again for everyone else. So, hi, Zoe.
Hi.
Zoe.
Hi. She heard your voice and she had to come and check out and see if it was you.
That's cute.
Hello.
Well, everyone, have a good night.
Yeah.
Thanks, Nicole.
No problem.
Maybe I can
Okay. Bye. Bye, Zoe.